Hey guys, I wanted to give a slightly more in-depth video on how I did specifically the OCR portion of this automatic legal pleading response. So just a brief overview of what this automation does. It receives a legal response from an opposing party in a lawsuit, and this automation will actually generate a legal response to that opposing party's response. Um, and some of the tech we're using here, right? We're using Google Drive, we're using AWS S3 buckets, AWS Lambda, AWS Textract, AI agents, the OpenAI API. Court Listener is one of them, Google Docs API to generate the actual legal response. So all of those things. So how did I do this particular automation? And I'm, again, going to only talk about this OCR portion as it can get a little bit more complicated. In n8n, we have a ton of different nodes. So what the requirements were to use, were to get basically the best rated OCR extraction tool, which AWS Textract, at least at this point, does that very well, which is why we wanted to go with that particular solution. And so basically what's going to happen is someone's going to place it, either someone or an automated system can place documents in a Google Drive folder. So this is going to trigger based on a file being added to a particular folder within Google Drive, and this can be done with OneDrive or SharePoint or whatever your Dropbox, whatever your file storage, cloud file storage is. Then what it's going to do is it's going to download the file locally, and then it's going to upload that file to AWS S3, which is an AWS infrastructure that's going to hold the document. Now, why we're doing that is because we want the AWS Textract service to be able to access the file to extract the data. So this starts the extraction here. This is a AWS Lambda function, and then it gets the OCR from that, and it's basically doing a loop to query, hey, is this job of extracting the data done yet? Then as we move over here, it's going to move the OCR as a text file to the drive, the same folder that we had added the file in. And then this AI agent is actually creating a proper structure, or ensuring that a proper file structure exists in the Google Drive. And then it sends it off to the next portion, which starts really the actual analysis of the text for the legal response. Now, why did I build it this way? We wanted, for at least from like a hybrid approach, for somebody to access something very simply. Obviously, Google Drive is very well known amongst a lot of people. So that's sort of that portion there. n8n actually does have a Textract node, which would have made this whole workflow a lot easier. But there were two limitations. One being that AWS Textract as a node in n8n only exists for this particular service, which is to analyze receipts or invoices. We're not doing that in this case. So that's why I couldn't use this. There is a AI agent tool that can be extracted. And in this case, you can see that I can set a custom API call. So I don't have to choose recipient or receipt or invoice. I could actually just create my own thing. But I didn't want to use an AI agent to do the actual extraction. As you can see, it fits right in this workflow. So my only way of doing this was to, or I guess there are multiple ways to do it, but the way that I chose to do it was to create an AWS Lambda function, which has Python code that's extracting that's calling the AWS Textract service, and then taking out all the text that we were interested in. And then, and I think that's probably one of the more complicated pieces there. And this is definitely something that, as n8n is limited in some of its nodes, this is definitely something you can do. You can use like higher level services so that you can still use n8n to get what you want done. And then this next piece here, this is grabbing the data and then creating the OCR file. So it's making sure that everything else in the Google Drive is the same. Now I did create this AI agent. If I were to do it again, I don't know if I would use an AI agent per se, but it is making sure that the folder structure is proper so that we can organize it by case number. So, and that's basically it for now.